You are Locked On Warriors POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Warriors POSTCAST. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe you know me from this show as well. We also do Locked On Giants, Locked On 49ers. Speaking of Locked On Giants, that's coming up right around the corner. But tonight, man, the Warriors looked absolutely terrible, hot garbage out there in Miami. It was a cloudy day out there in Miami, and the clouds just, I guess, got into the arena there in South Beach and just hung over the Warriors all night long. Without Steph on the floor, they struggled so mightily offensively, could not buy a bucket from three-point range. The Warriors starters combined for just 38 points in the losing effort, while the Heat shot nearly 70% from three-point range as a team. More than anything, what this tells us is how badly this team needs Stephen Curry and just how thin these margins for error are for the Warriors. Even when they're all healthy, it's a very slim margin for error that they are working with. The Miami Heat were just 1-9 in their last 10 games coming into tonight's game. So we naturally thought it would be a Jimmy Butler revenge game, but it ended up being a Wiggins / Anderson / Alec Burks revenge game instead. Man, we'll break it all down. But first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Warriors podcast feed, and make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. This one, from wire to wire, really, the Warriors were completely dominated. The Heat started this game on a 7-0 run, and the Warriors didn't score a bucket until like almost 3 minutes into this game. It started to pull away early in that first quarter. Guy Santos gave the team a little bit of life, though. He was, basically the only guy who could score for the Warriors. I don't know why. He only played 19 minutes in this one. He was 3 of 6 from three-point range. By far the best shooting night of any Warrior on the team. 5 of 8 from the field. Guy should have had more playing time, but honestly, that really wouldn't have changed the outcome of this. 112-86 is your final. The Warriors struggled so mightily in this one in all aspects. Couldn't make buckets and couldn't stop the Heat from making buckets, especially from beyond the arc. Miami shot 68% from three-point range and 55% from the field. So, they should have just shot threes all night long and not done anything else. If I was Eric Spoelstra, that's what I would have told the Heat. Not really, because they needed to work that inside-out game. And Bam Adebayo was really, really, really good in the interior for the Heat tonight. And the Heat just doing a lot of everything, really. They had 8 steals, 5 blocks. They beat the Warriors in damn near every single category. But when the Warriors get beat in hustle plays and just watching the game, closeouts were awful for the Warriors defense on the perimeter tonight. That's not something that we want to continue to see, because the Warriors have given up a lot of really good looks to their opponents, not just tonight, but in their last time out versus Atlanta and their prior time out versus Toronto as well. These are not very good basketball teams that are giving the Warriors fits when they're trying to play defense. And that's just a bad sign going into playoff push time. We only have 10 games left in this season. The Warriors got to figure it out right now, man. Every game, you're kind of living and dying by every single game right now, because with the loss now, you're sitting there looking at maybe being tied for the 6th seed with the Clippers, but the Clippers will have to win tomorrow night versus the New York Knicks for that to happen. So the Warriors do have a little bit of a cushion. Literally a half game cushion, not even a 1 game cushion at this point, a half game cushion. But losing 2 in a row to 2 teams under 500, not very good. Thankfully, up next is the New Orleans Pelicans, and you have a few days of rest to just for all of us to do a little prayer circle for Steph to get back on the court for the Dubs, because without Steph, man, you see what this team is, and it's not a very good team. This team was not very good pre-Jimmy Butler either, and once he added Jimmy to the mix, they all of a sudden became formidable. But if you don't have the whole complement of players available, this team is not going to get it done. You really, really need to focus on the health of this Warriors team, probably more so than any other team in playoff contention. And when not necessarily any other team in playoff contention, but any other team that's really trying to vie for a championship, or any team out there that thinks that they have a shot at winning the West or winning the East, the Warriors have probably the thinnest margins of any of these teams, especially when it comes to injury. And if any of these key contributors go down, I mean, even look at what the team was like pre Brandon Pajemski coming back, pre Jonathan Kuminga coming back. I mean, those two guys even were huge lifts for the team when they came back. But I mean, without Steph or Jimmy or Draymond on the court, this team all of a sudden turns back into pretty average. And I mean, obviously missing Steph is the worst one of all if you're a Warriors fan for the team to miss. He's the one guy that absolutely drives the bus. I mean, he's making all the things work without Steph on the court, without Steph drawing the gravity that he has out there. It just looks really bad. I mean, this Warriors team, as I said, just 23.7% from 3-point range, 38 points from your 5 starters. It's absolutely not going to get it done. Moses Moody had a really rough night tonight. 0 for 9 from 3-point range and just 3 of 13 from the field, a minus 23 plus minus. I mean, we don't really talk about too many Moses Moody bad games lately, but this was a really bad one from Moses. But he wasn't alone, man. Everybody on this Warriors team holds a little bit of the share of this loss. This was just overall a really poor effort from the Warriors. And like I said, defensively, it really concerned me watching them have all those bad closeouts on those 3-point efforts from the Miami Heat. The ball looks stagnant offensively for the Warriors. And for the Heat, man, I mean, who raise your hand if you had Alec Burks, former Warrior Alec Burks, going out there and torching the Dubs for 17 points on 5 of 7 from downtown? I absolutely did not have that. The Miami Heat had 6 different guys in double figures, including all 5 starters. And as I said, from the jump, this one looked pretty bad. I mean, Jimmy was getting blocked on fast breaks. The Heat looked like they were a little, motivated by to kind of stick it to Jimmy Butler in this one, just by the way that they were playing him, really getting back on defense in those transition moments and just stifling them. I mean, if there's one team that knows what Jimmy wants to do out there, it is the Miami Heat. So they played him pretty tough defensively, but still, I mean, the 3 former Warriors on this team, Alec Burks, Andrew Wiggins, and Kyle Anderson, all playing some minutes in this one and all doing pretty dang well and really hurting the Warriors tonight. So I still wouldn't rather have those 3 guys than Jimmy Butler. I'm still sticking with my guy Jimmy, but it's a tough game if you're a Warriors fan. And I know it's Miami. Everybody struggles going to Miami, especially when you got several days down there in South Beach. But hey, man, it's been stormy out there. I don't want to hear anything about the Warriors, doing too much outside and living their lives out there, because let's be real, they're not all, doing a ton of stuff out there in those storms. They got to focus and lock in on the game. They know what's at stake here. You can't keep free falling the way that they have been these last couple games without Steph. You need to flip the switch. You play the Pelicans on Friday, so you got to flip the switch before then. And it gives you a little bit of time to, hope Steph comes back healthy and all that. And, but if he does, or if he does not, you still got to win that game. Either way, that has turned into a very big game for the Warriors, because you look at the rest of the schedule and they get one more kind of cupcake game after that in San Antonio, but then it gets really tough. Then you go to Memphis, you go to LA, then you come back home and you play Denver and Houston. Those are 4 teams that the Warriors are all looking up at in the Western Conference. And then you still end up playing Phoenix, who's fighting for their lives right now in the play-in tournament. And then you finish out the season versus the Clippers. This whole season could really come down to that last game against the Clippers. If the Warriors can't overcome this loss of Steph Curry, it is going to be just abysmal trying to play their way out of the play-in and into the playoffs. I do think they'd be able to do that should they end up in that position, but man, you really do not want to be in that position. You got to do everything you can to avoid it. And the Warriors absolutely did not do everything they could to avoid that tonight. We got a lot more to get into tonight, including the turning point from tonight's game. Don't go anywhere here on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Tonight's show is sponsored by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save even more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check all of your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. And managing money with your partner is smoother than ever with Monarch. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half of your first year. Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Tonight, the Warriors absolutely smacked by the Miami Heat out there in South Beach. 112-86 is your final. The Warriors starters just looked completely inept offensively. A dumpster fire, hot garbage, whatever you want to, whatever negative adjective you can come up with, that probably would describe the Warriors' offensive performance tonight. 86 points in 48 minutes is not ever going to win you a game in 2025 in the NBA. It's just unacceptable, really, level of offense. The bench actually produced pretty well. Buddy Hield had double digits. So did Guy Santos. So did Jonathan Kuminga. The bench definitely outscored the starters. Just those three guys, I think. Just those three guys combined for just as many points as the entire Warriors starting lineup. So that kind of tells you all you need to know about how this one went. Meanwhile, the Miami Heat, 17 of 25 from three-point range. And man, those threes were really a big part of tonight's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And tonight's turning point came just before halftime when the Heat went on a big run after the Warriors managed to cut it to single digits, and it looked like they were starting to gain some momentum. And all of a sudden, the defense just falls apart. I mean, they right before halftime, they give up 2 3-pointers to push the lead back to 17. They had it down to 11 just before that. But even prior, when they had it into single digits, just a huge run for the Miami Heat at the end of that quarter. And the Warriors just could not do anything to respond. This was the second worst first half offensive performance of the season. They had 37 points in a half versus Houston. And tonight, just slightly worse, slightly better than that. But the Warriors, 17-point deficit at the half because of that Miami Heat run that they went on. I mean, 11-3 run to end the half for the Miami Heat. Really just put the fork in the Warriors tonight. I mean, they could not respond from that at all. And to make matters worse, coming out in the third quarter, felt like every start to the quarter tonight and every end to a quarter tonight, the Warriors were losing those possessions. The Miami Heat, in the start of the second half, just went down and dunked the ball. Very first possession, just ran right down the floor, right down the middle, dunked the ball. I mean, nobody even tried to play interior defense on the possession, and it just looked like this team had all the life sucked out of them. And you gotta, it is Miami. All the things that happen down in South Beach, all the extracurriculars that the guys could probably most likely be getting into. Maybe it affected tonight's game, but you don't really have any excuses left at this point in the season. Every game you need to win with the way that the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing, with the way that the Los Angeles Clippers are playing, with the way that basically everybody in the West right now is playing, except for the Lakers, who have not been very good in their last 10 games. You got to keep winning. You got to keep pace with everybody if you don't want to fall into the play-in tournament. But tonight, man, that end of the second quarter, I really felt like the Warriors could have gotten something going there that they could have built on in the second half if they did not give up those 2 huge 3-pointers at the end to Alec Burks first and then to Tyler Hero at the buzzer. Alec Burks, man, I did not expect this guy to come in and just absolutely torch the Warriors tonight. He must be mad about only playing 1 year in Golden State. I mean, Alec Burks, we know, is a pretty good shooter from deep, but it never really worked out for him in Golden State. But obviously it did with the Miami Heat tonight. So The Warriors had a really hard time doing anything defensively or offensively tonight. This was just one of the most putrid games to watch since acquiring Jimmy Butler. Obviously, they're not whole and complete right now. So definitely a big problem for the Warriors without Steph. And that's what we'll be talking about after tonight's game.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And what you'll be talking about is quite simply, it's a no-brainer on this one, how badly the Warriors need Steph to come back. I mean, if there might not be one single player who's as important to their team in the NBA as Steph is to the Warriors. The way that the entire offense is predicated around what he does, the way he absolutely tilts an opposing defense, draws double, triple, quadruple teams at times. There's nobody else in the NBA that does that. I mean, there's so many other dominant players in this league, but none quite have the same effect that Steph Curry does. I mean, you don't see four dudes running at Nikola Jokic, even though dude might win yet another MVP this season. You just don't see things like that happening with other players. And I'm not saying that Steph is definitively better than all these guys because of that, but it's just such a uniquely Steph Curry thing that he can do. And it creates all of the other offensive opportunities for the Warriors. It creates all the ball movement and Steph moving without the ball coming off of screens. Without him out there, it doesn't look the same. The offense can't operate the same way, and the Warriors don't really have a backup plan. They don't really have another answer. Jimmy Butler came back tonight after missing the game in Atlanta, and he just did not look very good tonight either. 5 of 12 from the field, 0 of 2 from three-point range. He only got to the line one time, which was a little bit concerning for me. He got blocked a bunch out there tonight, and only 11 points. He just didn't have the same Jimmy Butler spark that we're used to seeing him infuse into this Warriors team, both offensively and defensively. The defense, man, just looked, I've said it multiple times on the show already, looked so out of sorts. The closeouts on all of those three-pointers were either, just overrunning them and flying by guys so they could take a dribble and reset and shoot, or the Warriors just weren't getting out there. I don't know why they had so many wide open shots tonight from deep. And eventually the Warriors started to actually make some good contests in the second half. But at that point in time, the Miami Heat were already shooting damn near 70% from three-point range. They were feeling themselves, and they weren't going to start missing at that point. Once you see the ball go in, it turns the little light bulb on in the head for all the shooters out there in Miami. And that's what this team really needed. I mean, this was a hungry team. As I said, 1-9 in their last 10 games coming into this one. And they stuck it to the Warriors, man. They caught the Warriors at a good time for them, a bad time for the Dubs. It's just a terrible night. This team did not look the same, obviously, offensively and defensively, but also hustle-wise. I didn't see the team really getting on the floor for those loose balls. I didn't see the Warriors getting their hands in too many passing lanes. And ultimately, man, let's also not gloss over the amount of turnovers they had there in the fourth quarter. Just completely sunk their own ship. And this is something that we've kind of gotten used to with the Warriors when they try to make comebacks late in games. I mean, it doesn't work out very often this season at all. They're just 3-24, 3-24 when trailing after three quarters this season. I mean, not very good. Not very good for the Warriors. They have 30 losses all year long. 24 of them came when the Warriors were trailing entering the fourth quarter. So that tells you all you need to know about the comeback ability of this team right now. It got a little bit better because they hadn't had a single win all season long. Got a little better when they paired Jimmy and Steph out there. Started to actually get a couple wins coming back from deficits entering the fourth quarter. But this was just not one of those nights. I mean, it did not ever at any point in time feel like the Warriors had a handle on this. And again, not having Steph is a huge problem. Before we get out of here, we got to talk about one more thing, tonight's player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And the Locked On Sports Player of the Game tonight was unfortunately Bam Adebayo. This guy was just, all over the place, especially in the first half. He had 20 points in that first half. He didn't really need to do a whole lot in the second half offensively as the Heat kind of coasted to a win. But shot 50% from the field, hit 2 of 3 from deep, got rebounds all night long. He was playing great defense, had a block, had a steal. I mean, this guy just filled up the stat sheet all over the place, had a plus 23 plus minus. This really could have gone either way between Bam or Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was plus 33 tonight for the Miami Heat, 4 of 4 from his three-point shots. And, really, he could have called game after he hit that dagger in the going into the third quarter, going into halftime. I mean, Tyler Hero really took it to the Warriors as well. So maybe we can split it between Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. I really do enjoy watching Bam Adebayo play. I think he's a really fun, talented guy. He gives you a lot of effort on both sides of the ball, kind of like an old school grit and grind type of guy. But I really hate watching him do this against the Warriors. I much prefer watching him playing alongside Steph for Team USA. I do not like watching this happen to the Dubs when they so desperately need a win. As we said before, thankfully, they don't play until Friday. So you got a couple days of rest for Steph before hopefully you can get him back. And hopefully you don't even need Steph to beat the damn Pelicans. Come on, go win a game. You started this road trip facing a bunch of teams under 500. You can't lose to all of them. You got to try and salvage this roadie. Maybe you can win the last two of this road trip and kind of save yourself a little bit before, or the next two of this road trip, rather, before going to Memphis and LA. I mean, you really, really, really got to figure out how to start winning some of these games. Not too many more should win games left on the schedule. I mean, Memphis, LA, Denver, Houston, that's a gauntlet the Warriors are going to have to go through after playing New Orleans and San Antonio. So you need to win these next two games. No excuses. Nothing else can happen if you're a Warriors fan. This is exactly the route the Warriors need to go if you want to maintain your spot in the playoffs and not in the play-in. It's all the time that we got for you guys today. Quick reminder, San Francisco Giants season right around the corner. We will be doing the Locked On Giants postcast again this season. So make sure you're tuning into those shows. Make sure you set the notifications on and remind yourself, hey, I got to tune into the Locked On Giants postcast because the Giants should be better this year than they were last year, quite simply because they can't possibly have so many injuries again to their starting pitching staff. Hopefully the Giants end up a little more competitive this season. I think they will. But until then, we're focused on Warriors. Warriors next game, as I said, Friday, 5 p.m. at the New Orleans Pelicans. That's all the time we got for you guys today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.